Okay, this is a fascinating nomad generation. I think for the sake of clarity, I'm going to give Plotterghost the red here, red or green. Decently distinguishable. We could even make it red and blue, actually. Might as well just make it red and blue. Because yellow green, they're so similar on the minimap, hard to tell. So, Plotterghost with the Chinese here, Chonk with the Spanish. Again, the Spanish for nomad, such an infamous nomad civ. But Plotterghost gets a head start to the TC here, so that Spanish building bonus already a little bit, what should we say, nerfed here. Ooh, will not keep the builders building. I'm not hating the idea of dropping a house. It's easy to forget that the Chinese, nice Chinese TC, by the way, right on the berries and the woodland here, eliminating any lack of food early on. Setback of Chinese is that you will not be able to afford the dock right away, because you start with 50 less wood and 150 less food. Where's that last villager? Is looking for a dock, but there's not wood enough to dock here. Might as well just task it to build a DC, I think. But he's looking around for the perfect dock spot here. Looks like blue is going to complete the TC first, but it's going to be close-ish. But blue also already has the dock up, so Chonk getting a decent start here. Classic first game of the day strats. Ah. Yeah, I feel you. First game of the day vibes. Now, 3 villagers magically popping out of the TC here. Ooh, but not going to food. Not going to food. I guess it's just about getting that wood needed to get the dock up, but definitely go to food. Food is so much more important for the Chinese here to limit... okay, this is auto-targeting from the TC, I guess. Food is vital for the Chinese to benefit from those bonus villagers to start the game. And Plotterghost is going to get away with it at a minimum of idle time here with some forced dropping, I think. So 5 on food. And yeah, I did collect that wood just to get the dock up. I guess it's not the worst idea in the world. You have a food source next to the dock as well. But it's not that much of a hurry to get the dock up, to be honest. It's going to take some time until you get the fish up out as well. So in this case, honestly, I would have used all 3 villagers to get the TC up to maybe contest the Spanish building time a bit, and then go right on the food since you found the perfect Chinese starting location anyway. So 1 minute, 1 second idle TC time, but now producing the villagers. The house is already up, so we're not going to get housed for a while either. All in all, good start. Still sort of keeping up here. 8 villagers to 8, but then there's the fishing ship for Chonk, starting with the standard amount of wood. One of the rare nomad only ones where the TCs are not right next to each other. Yeah, it happens a lot, doesn't it? But not all the time. So as far as the dock spots go, they're decent. There's deep fish. But you always want to get to the corners where there's more deep fish within short distance of your potential docks. So you see, this would be a perfect dock spot. This would be a perfect dock spot. And you'd be lasting longer with the deep fish. But that could be the secondary dock, you know. That's no rush. Better to get going. Now, as far as nomad goes, it's usually on the slow side in the start. So I will, as usual, fast forward a little bit. Keep an eye on the population and idle TCs here. And see who gets up first, who chooses to collect the water. I love how Chonk is using 1 sheep to scout the shoreline here, because that is going to reveal eventually the location of Plotterghost's dock, or at least be converted by the dock villager here. So it will give an idea as to how far away you are, how much will I need to invest into water here. 4 fish for either player. Could be fast castle style, but Chonk definitely wants to challenge water here. I think it's 23 villagers up. 23 eco units, sorry, 18 villagers and 6 on food. Wants to challenge water, win water, get the fish boom rolling, and still get a competitive castle age time to get to those mighty Spanish conquistadors. So let's see here, feudal age is in. Chonk not stressing that Fire Galley production, even with a solid head start to the feudal age. There's only one dock. I mean, the distance is far, so there's not really any hurry here. You could actually play it defensively here and just benefit from the fish regardless. But nevertheless, I'd love to see some scouting in the naval region to confirm where Plotterghost's fish are. As it stands now, I think Plotterghost has some idea as to where Chonk is, but Chonk might or might not know the location of Plotterghost here, so... There's the barracks for the Chinese. Are we going to see the scouts here? There's definitely wood enough for a stable. I like scouts on Nomad, and especially against Spanish, because if you get the scouts out, even if it delays your cast... Oh, never mind the scouts. Anyway, I like scouts because you could use the mobility to scout the locations of stones where your Spanish opponent will likely be collecting stone. You could deny some of that income, and you could use the mobility of the scouts to deny castle drops to some extent as well before they quick wall. Chonk not going LSIM. Chonkers. Maybe next game, who knows? Maybe next game. It is going to be the range for Plotterghost. The Chinese have almost fully upgraded our nest. They are only missing... They are missing chemistry, right? Aren't they? Or are they just missing... No, they're probably just missing hand cannoneers and that shit. That unit. So maybe they have fully upgraded. I feel like they're missing something. I just can't recall what Chinese are missing for the archers line. Lumbering, maybe. Or I may be just out of my mind. So, still one dock for both players. Same-ish amount of fish, though they're still investing. We're going to see archers for Chonk, and the distance is not too far, so it might just work. They like hand cannons and Parthian tactics. Gotcha. So they obviously get access to chemistry, but they don't get hand cannons and bombard cannons as Chinese, if historically accurate, probably should be getting, because they basically invented gunpowder. Almost, at least they. They are missing these things. 2 on stone for Chonk, so not stressing that Conquistador idea. Maybe going to task more now while on the way to the cast stage. Comfortable's head start to the cast stage. Both buildings are up for Plotterghost here. Also has some archers to move out and deny blue resources here, but you're gonna have to find their location to do that. Of course, this is a kind of giveaway. There's not much left here for Plotterghost to scout, so Chonk has to be in this area. This is all water, so yeah, we'll see. So massing up the archers, Castle Age also on the way. 1 minute 20 seconds, 1 minute 15 maybe, between the two. Chonk just playing it a bit passively here, so not straight fast casting Conquistadors, even with the uninterrupted fish for both. Which is not a very common sight on Nomads, even with the distance. They should definitely contest each other's fish, because that's a fantastic food source. Looks like Plotterghost is expecting Chonk to have some army numbers on water because of the much earlier feudal age time, so in Plotterghost's defense it makes sense to keep the party defensively here, but Chonk could have definitely used that earlier feudal age for some naval advantage. So these archers now just roaming about, wishing they were Saracens to break through these walls easily, but they have to take the long way around now. Chonk actually scouting with the villager now, or is it forwalling? Yeah, just gonna get some vision with the outposts going up here. So very little aggression so far this game. Castle Age on the way in for Plotterghost here. Double range is producing now. Seems to enjoy the archer's play. And Chinese also have a unique archer unit to Chukonu, so that's the archer upgrades are going to benefit those anyway. And I don't know, Chukonu versus Conquistadors, I'm not too sure about that. They fire quickly, so if they get close enough, they'll be just fine. It's a powerful unit. But Once you get those conquistadors out, which Chonk will be doing any moment. Or not. Yeah, these guys are going to drop a castle somewhere, probably around here. Or alternatively here to defend in some kind of entrance. Yeah, protecting the gold, it's fine. It's a good castle. Sunbreak coming in, so they're definitely not missing that. And Firecat are just patrolling here, keeping a lookout for any enemy units entering that area. Well, the castle is up. Do we have any? Do we have any conquistadors in production? Indeed, we do. Crossbow number is decent though. That's going to keep the conquistadors away to some extent. Denying the building here as well, and yeah, moving away, not wanting to run into Castle Pyro Conquistadors here. Good move by Plotterghost. Hello AR12 and viewers, thanks for the raid. This is Wandering Squires Group H, so we are in the 900 to probably 1100 max ELO bracket here, so a bit out of your league, I would say, or the other way around. You are out of their league, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, I had some fascinating noble choices so far. Some archers and skirmishers, or crossbows and skirmishers from Plotterghost here. Maybe just hoping to play defensively against the conks here. And yeah, elite skirmish even in. So Chinese economy showing here. Handcart coming in, leather archer armor coming in. All of the upgrades, as far as I know, for the Chinese, they are cheaper as you progress through the ages. So it's easier to get to those crucial upgrades as you move on. The conquistador numbers are going to increase though, and they could just move out here and try to find some exposed eco. They're both walling off here, playing it passively, defensively here. The woodlands providing very natural sense of wall. Actually, look at the placements here. Look at the woodlands for red and the woodlands for blue. So much more resource access, except for gold for red. When this one runs out, then Plotterghost is going to be in a bit of a pickle. Mangonel defense for Chonk, also a good call. Will help diminish the crossbow and elite skirm numbers. And now the conquistadors, knowing the location of the main crossbow skirm mass, will move somewhere else to look for some raiding damage. Guess you could enter through here once you find the location. Outpost providing some intel as well. As Plotterghost is moving into dangerous territory here. 2 defensive Mangonel. Oh, good dodge for now, but it's 2 Mangonels. Ooh. Oh, dangerous. Red's left woodland is nice. Yeah, this is juicy stuff. Now, it would be a nice TC spot here if not for this straggler. I guess you could delete that straggler and build. That was a dangerous move. Good work to dodge 2 Mangonels like that in a cramped space. Let's see the crossbows versus the conquistadors here. Who gets the better end of the deal? Yeah, definitely the army composition of Plotterghost working out here. Mixing elite skirms and crossbows. Mainly elite skirms, and it's honestly probably the best response to conquistadors in the early Castle Age. The wall up here keeps the eco fairly safe as well, so it's a good walling here. It's not many places you can hide the conquistadors here. Maybe snipe one builder here and there. What you really need for Chonk here is another forward castle, maybe on the production, on the farms here, or just on this hill. You'll get the castles up anyway if you have enough villagers as the Spanish, because they build more quickly. Oh, have a good stream, said our Airtel. Thanks, man. I missed that. Uh-oh. Trying to micro conks against skirmish and crossbows here. Not ideal. Heal advantage could help a little bit, but the mangonels, yes, they'll come to join in eventually. Monastery going up to heal up the conquistadors possibly and collect some relics even. Heck, you could even go missionaries and have a mobile monk to heal up the conquistadors. Plotterghost is adding light cab, which I'm not too sure about the purpose of, but the idea could be to take down mangonels maybe. Donkey monks, yeah, donkeys. That would be the missionaries. Donkey monks. Donkeystadors. Or monkeystadors, really. You never see those donkey monks in play. Almost never. I played like 3,000 games and casted thousands of games as well, and I've seen it twice, I think. The light cab was added for mangonels. Okay, yeah, good use of the excess food for sure. I think your Plotterghost is set nicely for an Imperial Age transition here as well. Might as well just go up here with the 32 military and get Trebs out and deal with the Spanish castle once and for all. Would be the play here. Chonk seems to be floating quite a bit of wood here. That could be going into farms, TTs, whatever might be needed. Additional docks would make sense as well. There is one over here, so Chonk has done some good work at extending the fish economy here. And one upgrade to keep in mind is the gill nets. If you're going for the extended fish boom, get the gill nets from the docks whenever you can afford it. Because it's going to make the fish work faster as well, fishing ships. Oh, one conquistadors taking a horrible fight over here. And speaking of Imperial Age, here it is on the way for Plotterghost. And the conquistadors, some of them will die to Castle Fire here as well. Might actually find their way home through the walls here instead. But that Imperial Age, that's going to be nasty for Chonk here. Plotterghost already has a good response, would probably want some more skirms and crossbows in the mix here to really be able to sustain and defend an Imperial Age push. As long as there's resources in the bank, never stop making military. Villager production, nice. Triple TCs, perfect. Another castle going up as well. That's going to put an end to any conquistador raids unless Chonk makes a big brain move here, makes a transport ship and lands on the other side. But takes some unconventional creativity to think about that. And besides, there's a party galley here, preventing that from comfortably happening for Chonk. Here are the Chukonu, so that's going to be the Imperial Age unit to add for Plotterghost then. Not hating on that idea, there are two castles, so might as well make Chukonu over crossbows, armless here. Ballistics coming in, Thundering was in a while ago. And yeah, I guess as soon as Imperial Age comes in and it becomes affordable, we'll be seeing Bracer as well to boost the range and attack output of these Chukonu. Plotterghost in a good spot here. Chonk sadly is nowhere near Imperial Age in terms of food eco here, but it's just about using the market here and transition some of these resources. The rates are pretty decent, so you could definitely sell wood, buy food, go Imperial Age here to match once you see Imperial Age kicking in for Plotterghost. Let's see if Chonk will opt for that. Could probably deny this castle with the conks, just needs to move closer. Will not be killing the fun. Get the villagers! There's some cover fire here from Plotterghost Castle, but the conks are not close enough. They will be getting some villagers here, yeah. That stays unbuilt for a little while. Conscription before Trebs here will boost the production speed of the trebuchets. Healthy quadruple TC economy here for Plotterghost. Enough stone for yet another castle as well, which could probably go up here, to be honest. If desirable. decent mangonel dodge there and staying close to the castle as well. Sniping yet another few conquistadors and the trebuchets on the way out. Chonk, still 2 minutes to go. This Imperial Age window is so important for Plotterghost here to take advantage of. Military lead here for sure. Conquistadors don't stand a chance against this unit combo, and this castle also gets completed, allowing for more production of trebuchets here to really keep that Imperial Age push rolling. So, more trebuchets in the queue. We are going to see at least 2 of them. We should definitely consider queuing more here. There's lots of resources in the bank to be used. Arbalest is coming in. Blast Furnace is coming in to benefit the light cav, I guess. And we may see some more light cav raids as a result of this food economy going here. Chonk still going for the conquistadors here at this point, but there are more stables going up, so making the knight eventually a paladin switch here, which makes sense against these skirms, arbs, chukodumatis. Will desperately scramble to keep this castle up to hopefully get some trebs out, but that's not going to work. What Chonk could do now is to go for chemistry ASAP and get some bombard cannons out instead, or just produce some trebs from this castle and try to push back. Plotterghost is claiming more and more of the map, though. It's like more than half of the map in the Plotterghost control now. Keeps a consistent army lead. Will be using these trebuchets to take down yet another castle, probably. Maybe the stables first, actually. We'll see. Ooh, and this treb could snipe this castle foundation. Okay, good work of Chonk there to open the walls. Is actually going to commit to sniping that trebuchet. But it's pushed from 2 sides now for Chonk, and there's nice cover fire from this castle. Could even wall in these trebs for extra protection. This castle will... I think it will be going down as quickly as it went up here, because there are trebs from this side. 4 trebuchets for Plotterghost. Look at that juicy Chinese economy rolling here. Wait, Cannon Galleon? We have to keep an eye out for that. Cannon Galleon would definitely make sense here against a lot of this land presence here. Especially for the Spanish, of course, because Spanish can have faster firing Cannon Galleons. Yeah, it's true. Like half a year ago or so, they changed it so that researching chemistry instantly unlocks Cannon Galleon. You don't need to research the Cannon Galleon upgrades. Oh, it's on the way. Might be in Chonk's line of thinking then to make bombard cannons or cannon galleons here, but lots of space being lost here. Look at the army count, 67 to 2. This is a domination for Plotterghost here in the army department, and that's going to be the end of Chonk with this kind of pressure. 4 trebs, they just melt buildings at a rapid pace. And yeah, we need army numbers here. More stables going up. Chonk fighting to the bitter end here. Has stone enough for another 2 castles as well to really delay here, deny here. Could, in theory, transport over here and claim some free space, but Plotterghost hasn't scouted here for a while. Can't know if it's available or not. Yeah, the push continues. 3 relics actually being collected by Chonk earlier on here, but as the monster goes down, that's no more relic income for the blue player. So gold is hard to come by as well. Once this one depletes, there's not going to be gold access. That castle buys some time, but the land presence, the map control, it's all in Plotterghost's hands. The eco is way ahead. The score is twice that of Chonk. And there is no win condition for Chonk here at this point. It's fewer villagers, way fewer army. It's 100 less population. So I appreciate the fighting spirit. The fish seem to have gone idle even because of the deep fish being too far off here. So the food eco is crippled. There's a nice hill here for Plotterghost to keep pushing, and is Plotterghost going to push Chonk all the way to defeat here? It almost looks like it. And there it is. Spanish always feeling underwhelming once the conks are gone. Yeah, that's the main purpose of the FC conks, right? To cripple the annoy the enemy economy so much that you could buy yourself time either to end the game as Spanish with your faster off times, or just make a switch into full paladins or whatever in the late game and dominate that way. So Chonk outmatched here. Didn't contest water, which I think was a big deal against the Chinese. They are vulnerable to lacking that food from the very start of the game, but Plotterghost getting to the death ball. Mix of crossbow archers seem to work very well against the small numbers of conks, and just capitalizing on that, snowballing it out of control into an elite Shukonu in the end even. That's not easy to deal with. Alright, let's see what game 2 brings us. That will be Chonk's home map. And we are going to see Golden Hill for this one. Italians versus Poles. Nice. Golden Hill it is. You'll see the players moving away from the Golden Hill in most cases, even though the food sources are decent here and the golds and stones as well. They will be moving to TCA Woodline, and hopefully for Plotterghost getting it maybe in the middle here, in the middle of these two small woodlines, and then get food production rolling. Dropping a dock as well. Sadly, it's far away from the deep fish, but having a dock on the shorefish, at least you can collect that 200 food fairly easily. Thanks for the follow, you Moogle. Appreciate that. Chonk with the Italians here on the berries and woodland here. Nice food source, wood source. But Plotterghost certainly has something smart in mind here with the poles. Wants to claim middle control. Poles generate gold from 50% gold through stone mining. So it's going to be amazing to be poles here with that kind of gold and stone access if you can control the middle. With that in mind though, again for a normal start, it's going to be on the slow side to begin with. I'm going to toggle the fast forward for a little bit here. Hunt for Plotterghost, also the shortfish is not currently going to wood. Chonk also docking actually, and Italians, they have cheaper fishing ships, so Chonk definitely knowing about that is going to go for the deep fish here. It's a better dock spot in terms of taking the little deep fish there is here. And yeah, going to get a nice food boost from that. There are similar numbers on food here, but in the case of Plotterghost, it's a little bit of the land economy already gone into farming impact, something that Chonk won't need to for a while. Loom in for Plotterghost, an indication that fuel age might be on the way, and nice! Chonk wants to wall Plotterghost away from the middle here, but Plotterghost is smarter than that, already has some presence in the middle with their barracks here. Being the poles, maybe we'll see the scouts here. They're actually both dropping barracks in the middle here. Did Plotterghost spot that villager moving through though? I don't think so. Might get lucky and see it here. See the barracks foundation. Fuel ages comparable. It's roughly the same pop up actually, but more idle thesis time for Chonk. Surprisingly enough here with that food boost of the Italians, maybe struggling to click up here. And also not sure what the follow up is here. Probably the archers for the Italians. Plotterghost in a good spot here to just drop that stable right away if that's the plan, and indeed it is. Claiming some middle control of the buildings, they both are in fact, but Chonk's wood count is a bit off here in terms of sustaining whatever the army follow-up for fuel age is, unless it's contesting water. which doesn't seem to be the case for either player in this map either. Maybe they just don't like naval fighting and just screw that. I'm going to leave my fish to die if the opponent chooses to go for it. Maybe just a gentleman's agreement not to have that extra matter to think about here. So Chonk has walled off, forcing Plotterghost to move through the water. The irony is that Plotterghost is already in the middle with a stable and Chonk doesn't see it, so that's not going to stop the scouts here once he starts producing them. Now finally he sees it. Nice little quick palisade there to obstruct the pathing of Chonk, and we won't be seeing any builder fighting here. Plotterghost will win that fight any day anyway, because Poles have regenerating builders. It's an underrated nomad bonus actually. Fire Galley for Chonk, so Chonk now wants to defend and maybe even challenge water here. Not a bad call. Don't overinvest though, because there's really not that much deep fish to fight for here overall. But one might just very well be enough here to chase Plotterghost off water. However, Chonk doesn't know that Plotterghost is fishing. We'll have to scout to realize what's happening. He's just playing defensively. I don't like that. I don't like that. Just have a look and use the army, use the force Chonk. So, Plotterghost has made a stable, but has not made a single unit from that stable. In fact, maybe just change the mind here. I'm in a good spot. I have the resource to go Castle Age. Why not just go to Castle Age and make the knights in the Castle Age instead? Oh! And the house! Stopping that tower from happening. Nice. Chonk tried to tower rush the stable here and keep some more presence in the middle with towers. One scout in production now, no upgrades, but even one scout against an archer with no fletching, that should be fine. I'm not seeing a tower contributing all that much in the middle here, other than ambition and a point of refuge for any villagers claiming gold and stone in the middle. First scout is out. Villagers being tasked to fight here. Archer goes down. No more scout. Another one in the making. And it's the middle. That's where the action is. Where's that fire galley? 2 fire galleys. Still not engaging. They're just guarding their fisherman friends over here. So, Chonk reacting with Spearman to the scouts makes sense, but Chonk now still in the feudal age, lacking gold to go up while Plotterghost reaches the castle age. Just there. Still committed to scouts, but obviously changing that to knights now that the next age is in. I wonder if that knight will pop out in time to stop this tower, maybe not. But that tower isn't really a big concern. There's still one villager in the middle for Plotterghost. I'm not sure if this is TC-able. This could be a TC spot. And that's almost the only spot, unless Plotterghost decides to delete some buildings here. Ooh, that knight. It hurts having no upgrades, bloodlines and armor coming in, but Spearman getting value there. Oh, use the army though! At least float around and check. Don't expect to be alone in water, even if you haven't seen any enemy armies. Oh, that's so much. I mean, it's inefficient, but it's still fish income for Plotterghost, however inefficient it is. Knights with +1 defense here. Power did go up, but once Plotterghost gets the proper upgrades here, should easily be able to deal with this. Has to deal some damage here at some point. The second TC is going up, so Plotterghost is going to take a villager lead here. Triple stable. Oh, there's the third one. Okay, so it's going to break through here. So setting up for that Poles Knights spam. Italians have the ultimate counter in the Genoese crossbowmen though, especially in choke pointy places like this. Get a castle or a couple of castles up here and pump out those Genoese crossbowmen. It's not much the Poles can do aside from transporting. Still no action from the fire galleys. This is a total waste, honestly, at this point, because they could have been killing the fish rather than just making units for defending against nothing. Knights are out, only +1 defense, but the spears have been dealt with, I guess. Archers hopping inside the tower. Castle each 1 minute to go for Chonk, but will be losing the production potential here in not too long. Still committing to the Spearman, but no upgrades on them, so they'll struggle against the Knight's masses. Power will be going down as well, and that little middle investment of Chonk will soon be history. There's still gold on the edges though, and some shorefish to be taken. This would be an amazing mill spot here and around all this shorefish. Thousands of food just waiting to be collected. Triple stables, but for what here? It's for the later game, I presume. Maybe 1 or 2 stables would have been enough here, but the Knights are doing the work here. Plotterghost not producing anything at the moment. Must be busy managing economy at home here. But now both town centers producing and forging coming in for the Knights as well. 1 on stone, so eventually we'll be seeing a castle in the middle. And definitely the go-to unit for Italians here is the Genoese Cosmoman, yes. Ooh, Chonk stonewalling the crossing here. That's actually a good move. If you can get the stone walls up, the Knights won't be able to do anything. So Plotterghost really should be checking this out before it's too late, just to confirm whether it's open or not. Not focus too much on the buildings, just look for raid potential. You know by now that all of the economy of Chonk is on this side. I think Chonk is going to get those walls up. 3 villagers building stone walls over here, which will force Plotterghost into ramps to break through here to continue the raids, or transports of course, because the fire galleys, they are just now attacking the fish. Finally! 15 minutes after the creation, the fire galleys have decided to engage. Unfortunately now there are Knights here in the stables, and Knights can actually move on this terrain and deal with the fire ships, fire galleys, but Plotterghost not going for that at the moment. Oh, still a bit to go here, but Plotterghost will not make it in time, just controlling the middle, patrolling. It's too late, it's too late. Ah, yeah, doesn't see it. And there we go. Whoopsie! You won't be getting anywhere just yet. Good news is, in the very late game, Poles get access to Siege Ram, so they can easily break through walls like this. And by walling this off, Chonk is effectively giving up all of this gold and stone to the Poles, which will only grow in strength as they collect stone and gold for castles. I guess you could even castle down here and deal with the walls that way, and there's nothing Chonk can do about it. Fire galleys dealing with 2 of the stables here, unless Plotterghost makes some knights to handle this. Could of course just rebuild here. 10 on stone now, and a side trick. Oh, demo! Ooh, let's see the demo. Do Italians get Cannon Galleon? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. Not sure about Elite, but I'm pretty sure they get Cannon Galleon, because most of the strong naval sims do. Well, did get the demo hit here, another demo raft coming in here. Finally some naval action in the middle here. Chonk with a bit of a random castle to the side here, but it protects the stone and to some extent the shoreline. So, has the right idea here, wants to make the Genoese crossbowmen, presumably. Already has the upgrades for the archers as well, having played archers earlier on. Just waiting for its moment here, the demolition raft. Now don't let this stable go to waste. There's enough stone for a castle for Plotterghost now. Are we gonna see? No! Make it closer! Make an opening! Oh, a bit unfortunate. This castle could have easily been more aggressive. Chonk has given up all of the map control. He's massing pikes and Genoese in the back here. Could actually be the way back for Chonk here. Just mass the Genoese in peace here as far as the gold will take you, and then just use that and the cheaper H-ups for the Italians to get those trebuchets out, deal with the middle presence, use the Genoese to cover the trebs and Poles, even with their dirt cheap cavalry after the unique tech, they will struggle to keep up. Yeah, Fire Galleys have been dealt with. Now it's Plotterghost's turn to have a little look here to see if there's any fishing going on. Just go for the aggression. That should be a win for the yellow player. That's only 1 versus 2 here. Easy. Easy fight. Another over here, but Chonk is sending them in 1 by 1, so that should be an easy engagement for Plotterghost. Now even going for War Galley upgrade, has fire ships. Imperial Age for Chonk, which means that this castle could die to trebuchets. Maybe Chonk is one of those players that's stronger in the late game if the eco goes somewhat undisturbed here. And the fish is undisturbed. The land economy is undisturbed, and the Genoese are taking their chances here. They're going to see that a castle is already up in the middle. But with Imperial Age on the way, that castle isn't nearly as much of a threat. So the dock goes up here for Chonk. More docks wants to claim middle control. Could actually be thinking about these cannon galleys or whatnot here now. As a second castle goes up for Plotterghost, could easily buy Imperial Age at this point. Just get to it, get that. Is there a market even? Nah, Plotterghost needs a market and just buy his way up here. The market shows decent rates. But Chonk now is up. We'll have access to Bracer for the Genoese crossbowmen. Could even get the elite once Eco allows. Eco is fragile though compared to Plotterghost. Plotterghost higher idle TC but more TCs the whole time here. It's the second town center just now going up for Chonk here. And is there a trebuchet in the queue? Indeed it is. Plotterghost needs Imperial Age here. Third castle in the middle, that doesn't help if you don't get imp and trebs of your own. But there it is. Yeah, speaking of, here we go. We're going up to Imperial Age. Plotterghost may yet still be able to contest this with stronger economy, stronger armies. Solid middle presence. Is getting that unique tech Schlachta privileges for the 60% gold discount on the knights as well. So once that completes, Plotterghost with a minimum of gold eco will be able to produce knights at a quick rate. However, you need more food to keep that up. 22 food isn't really enough to pump out those cheap knights because the food cost is still the same, I think. So Chonk also doesn't really have the economy to mass those Genoese crossbowmen as needed. They're kind of matching military. Chonk actually has more military here. Pikes and Genoese here should easily deal with the Pole spam. One castle could go down, but Chonk is also fighting an uphill battle here. It's called Golden Hill for a reason, right? There's a big hill in the middle. So when you claim it with castles and stuff, it doesn't go on. Italians don't get siege engineers actually. So they can't, they don't get that extra range and damage on the trebs and bomber cannons, which is huge. That hurt in the late game. But if they had it, they would be really strong with their Imperial Age combo as well, so I can see why they don't have it for balance reasons. It's amazing to me how there's naval armies not being used here. And they've even gone for the upgrades, but they're not contesting the fish. Not that it matters that much at this point, but for all Plotterghost knows, Chonk could have 50 fish traps working now, and Italians fish, they are cheaper fishing ships, so they could have an amazing fish boom. Imperial Age is in, and I think all 3 castles now producing trebuchets for Plotterghost. Going to take the fight here. Getting those last upgrades for the cavalry as well will probably see cavalier once affordable and doubling up on nice production. But first you need to break through here, of course. Plotterghost has the elevation advantage. Doesn't really need those stone walls here to just send the trebs in front of the castle. But if he keeps them at the back of these walls, at least melee units of the Italians can't engage against them. Ooh, nice. Finally, fire ships being put to use again here. They're dealing with trebs from the sea, and the Genoese move over maybe to take him out. But that's one treb going down. Great value for the fire ships. Will even target some Genoese there, but yeah, has to pull away. Demo comes to mind though, but the stone walls should keep that out. But the demolition ship here could still get a juicy shot in here. Even if Plotterghost loses this castle, there's even hoardings to boost the HP of the castles. Cannon galleons for the Italians, they are out. Nice. It was the plan all along for Chonk here. Actually, a funny way to claim the middle. Lots of the middle is ranged by the cannon galleons here. 13 range. 13 range. So you'll deal with these castles, no problem. As opposed to the trebs, the cavalier cannot snipe cannon galleons unless they are on this shallow terrain. Chonk desperately trying to re-wall here, but the trebs, if they target this unfinished wall, there's going to be a huge pile of cavaliers. Yeah, here we go! 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 Demo! Demo, please! Please! How many shots for them to take down trebs? Looks like they have a lot of bonus damage against siege. 40, 35, that should be 4 hits, I think, actually. 300 divided by 4, that's 75, so that should add up to 4 hits. If they hit. Again, trying to re-wall, but now the Obuch are here as well. They will melt the pikes because they strip them of armor. Some cavaliers are into raid here, and Chonk now at a rough spot at home base here. Has the KD on the negative side here. The cavaliers could easily snipe these trebs now. Fire ships running in here could actually target these trebs without big issues. But even the cavaliers are chiming in here and fighting against the ships, melting them like this. Cannon galleons doing work. They dealt with all of the castles here, so the middle is vulnerable to attack now for Plotterghost. But that Cavalier flood is just going to increase, and Plotterghost only needs more stables now to produce. Maybe gets conscription from the castle at home, and if it's not in already, and then just overwhelm the Italians. Even the Genoese won't really help Chonk here. Scrambling at barracks, but Italians don't get halberdiers, so Italians pikes with barely any upgrades against a Pole's fully upgraded almost Cavalier mass. That's going to be an issue. 1, 2, maybe it's 3 hits actually for the cannon galleons against trebs. Plotterghost only 2 on gold, but lots on stone, so that's a passive gold income source. Yet we'll just mining camp further away from those bombard cannons. Chonk will fight to the bitter end yet again, but is going to fall victim to massive raids here, and must be at a loss as to what to do here. Panic repairs to the TC. 4 trebuchets here, but they will be melted by the cavaliers, and last minute panic pike mass that usually doesn't work out, I'm afraid. You need the upgrades, you need the mass, and in the Imperial Age you really need that halberdier upgrade to deal with the Cavalier mass. Poles lack that last armor in Imperial Age though, so their Cavaliers aren't amazing. And now without trebs and siege in the middle for Plotterghost, it's going to take quite a while to break through the stone walls here, so maybe Chonk can clean up and stabilize. The overall situation though is 99 to 73 villagers. Military ahead for Plotterghost, a healthy population, 40-50 ahead here. Bales on the stone walls for now. And another siege workshop going up at home for some reason. Could be just for the research, the upgrade maybe. There's a siege workshop in the middle, battering rams. Poles get siege rams, so if you have the resource for it, just go for it. Dodging the cannonballs there with the winged hussar, but these galleons are in danger. These two could easily be sniped by this cavalry mass. Ah. Chonk's microwave on point is moving the units away, but cannon galleons, they are a anti-building unit mainly. They will not easily deal with melee units, although if they get the hits in, that's okay. That's the first time I've seen cannon galleon kill a cavalier actually. Oh, nice. And even the rams will struggle a bit breaking through here, because as opposed to bombard towers, I guess the cannon galleons, cannonballs will deal bombard cannon damage. Yep. They snipe the ram, no problem. So Plotterghost will need siege ram or something here. Good job of Chonk to keep that crossing closed. Although Plotterghost still has some cavaliers forgotten about probably over on this side. Could use that to deny rewalling as the rams come in one by one and the cannon galleons at danger of being sniped by cavaliers here. One ram at a time. Oh, that isn't going to provide any entrance here, I think. At this point, I would consider thinking about a transport ship to transport over some cavalier and continue the raids. But again, there are raiding units over here that aren't being used. EcoKD 39 to 6, so Chonk did get some wilder kills in the middle, but now Plotterghost has the eco far enough away for any cannon galleons to punish. Siege ram is in. Looks like Plotterghost will want 2 rams before pushing through this time. Not too sure if the gate is a good idea at this point, even though Chonk will want to move into the middle at some point. But that gate provides a larger area for the siege rams to hit, so that's actually doing Plotterghost a favor here. And we're through the gate. Winged Hussars, Cavaliers, this might be the death blow to Chonk's economy here. Genoese will still do very good against the Cavalier because they are lacking plate guarding armor. Last attack is in though, and this sheer mass of Pole's Cavalier here, 47 Cavalier, roaming about. They don't even care about the Genoese crossbowmen or pikes at this point. You could just flood those trash Cavalier. Look at the economy of Plotterghost as well. Look at all these castles going up. He's not going to risk any raids or damage from the Italians, so that has had all of the time in the world to extend at home base, and using that extra stone to place castles everywhere. They have forwardings in as well, so 5,808 hit points as Chonk only has 4,800. 30 military, 74 villagers for Chonk, but that is going to diminish rapidly here as the monastery goes down, so no defensive monks here. Trying to reroll yet again to keep the Cavalier flood out, but this is just too much to handle, as the siege rams will be flooding in as well from near and afar here. And GG, good luck on the rest. Oh, Chonk really expecting Plotterghost to make it far here, eh? And 2-0 it is, Plotterghost seeming to be the much stronger player in this matchup, at least in the very late game. So, interesting set though, fun set though, cool sim matchups, and surprising lack of naval fighting throughout. I believe that is the unique technology giving the winged hussars or light cav line trample damage, like Stick Legacy. Looking at the timeline here, earlier Imperial Age for the Italians, to some extent claiming back the middle and walling to keep the aggression out as well, but just avoiding or delaying the inevitable, sadly, with much healthier economy overall for Plotterghost throughout the game. GG well played though. Good luck to Plotterghost in the next one. And we see the fishing ships here. Fish eco for both for a good while here, but eventually neither player left with any fish. So that's the GG.